Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're still watching the Daily Debate live on Nile TV International, and we're delighted to be joined here live at the studio by Mr. Mohamed Kaoud, hospitality and tourism expert. Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Good evening and pleasure. Thank you.
Sir, the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities launched a new promotional campaign under the title Egypt Never Sleeps. Now, this is to promote tourism in Egypt. How do you see the significance of such a video being released in promoting tourism?
Firstly, I would like to thank you for having me here.
It's our pleasure.
Secondly, yes, indeed, it's one of the promotional campaign and one of the promotional video for the Minister's campaign. And it's part of a series that we have been observing that the ministry is currently adopting in order to promote tourism. Egypt Never Sleeps is a creative campaign when we look into it, so it's actually hitting like the nice segment during the right time, targeting the people who are actually coming over here for summer and looking for long nights. Whether it's going to be in Cairo or in Sharm el-Sheikh or on the north coast that are attracting a lot of clientele at the moment. So it has a nice impact on the hospitality in general. And this series of events are vital as well. You need to always to keep having creativity in the different campaigns that you are promoting for in Egypt and abroad, and as well each campaign to be targeting a specific segment in order to show the diversity that we have over here into our country.
Yes. Well, this promotional video highlights the new branding of Egypt as a youthful and vibrant destination that offers, of course, different activities and enhance the touristic experience for tourists who come to Egypt. How do you view the fact that this video features a group of renowned bloggers and influencers, and this is new?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually we're going to look to it from two different perspectives. Firstly, the youth component of it. So that's really important that we now started seeing like the different target markets and the different segments within each target market that we would like to reach. The youth are representing like a vast majority of the individual travelers at the moment, and they have a lot of accessibility to technology as well that enable them to book very quickly. So in which at the moment as well, and with the President Sisi earlier today as well, launching the new economic Egypt or the e-commerce of Egypt. So this will definitely add an impact afterwards. On the other hand as well, like the mean to reach this clientele or to reach this segment. So this segment is not as we used to have them like by targeting emails or the regular marketing campaigns. So we are now choosing the right means to actually that they influence this kind of people. So they are actually after bloggers, after influencers. They are following them, and each blogger influencer as well, like they have certain some sort of speciality, of which it was a true arm in order to get the wide exposure and to share the experience. So in order to promote it for Egypt and increase the number of travelers to Egypt.
Right. Still with the issue of digitization and this modern trend of promoting tourism in Egypt, as we're starting the summer season or just started a while ago, in your opinion, in addition to Instagram, TikTok and YouTube, what other means of promoting tourism do you think in this digitization era?
So the digitalization era of Egypt actually is very much improving. So we have seen like a lot of development taking place into the infrastructure, which is the core or the main, of which we are building onto it afterwards, like the customer relationship management with the clientele. So the different tools that will enable us how we are going to treat this customer in a very good way. And now with the new technologies, definitely that, as you mentioned, from a social media perspective or from a digital marketing perspective, social media arm is very important, and covering all different parts of it is actually approaching a different segment as well. So we need to be present in all of them. The different search engine optimization in Googling and so, or all the search engines, you need to be present on them. The different as well website, the accessibility of booking and paying online. So all these are different means that will enable the customer to take a quicker decision. Besides as well, after COVID actually like one of the benefits that has pushed a lot of people to be dependent on technology and dependent on applications, so they get used to it. So, and when we look at it into the Egyptian in particular, it is claimed that it has pushed Egypt like 10 years forward.
Yes.
That people got themselves customized on how to get used to technology and use them. So it's key, it's essential to be present, different mobile apps as well, providing like the different services to the clientele over here, sharing different experiences, facilitating every single aspect on the customer journey from the moment they land to go to the airport to the moment of their departure need to be eased.
Yes. Well, the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities also is offering some discounts on tickets for archaeological sites and so on. So how far does such offers promote tourism and encourage tourists maybe furthermore?
So the discounts goes very much along with the youth campaign. So the youth are on a low income. They are in a limited budget when they are traveling. They're trying to cut as much cost as they can. Some of them are a lot of students as well. So when you present the discounts on the different archaeological sites, so it goes along with your marketing in order to fill the different gaps to reach like the goal from this campaign. On a regular peak seasons, I would say like all these discounts will be lifted because we need to get like the more of the high end and the luxury traveler to start experiencing and seeing the country from a different perspective.
Right. Also, talking about marines and yacht tourism, and now Egypt is launching a digital platform to promote yacht tourism. How do you think this is really promotional and really affects tourism? How would you assess this project that aims to raise the efficiency of ports and marines in Egypt?
I would say yachting is still going to take time for Egypt. Like yachting tourism is mainly counting on the luxury tourism. So it's for a very niche segment of the clientele on a global level. From a competition-wise on the region or in the Mediterranean, we have tough competition. On the Red Sea as well, we have another tough competition among different countries. So it's not going to be an easy, but definitely it has a potential. I would say firstly we need to set the different infrastructure for the different ports that can actually accommodate these yachts, whether on the Red Sea or on the Mediterranean. Besides as well, the different logistic related to it, like documentation, logistic from entry and exit, because it has a high volume of people that they come with a lot of wealth from different places, and they would like every action to be taken fast and quick. So until we get to this level, I think it's going to be very challenging to try to push into this to push into this segment from the tourism. Other than that, probably we can think of the cruises as they come in big numbers with a lot of cabins. Some of them they go to multiple thousands of cabins. So, and it's a hit and run as well, that they come and stop in the country for 12 hours and they leave. This could be as well an easier for us to penetrate within this segment and then expand from over there.
Well, also, how would the idea of inviting world leaders or celebrities in some cases in the inauguration of mega touristic events or sports events, how would this help in promoting tourism?
Considerably beneficial for any of the sites. So any of those celebrities, whether they are a businessman, an actresses, or a politician, or any kind of celebrity, when they come over here, they have a lot of followers. They have people that actually watching what they are doing. They would like to, they take them as a role model or as people that influence their decision in the next destination they choose. They as well send credibility. They send security messages. So it has multiple aspects. So whenever we have the opportunities that we can invite those kind of people, yes, we need to do so. And more importantly, is just to highlight and to make sure that this message get to everywhere on the right channel at the right time.
Right. The whole business of tourism used to rely on the ancient monuments before. Now there is a new trend, in addition, of course, to our historical heritage and the ancient touristic sites that we have. There is also a new trend in promoting new attractions, new touristic attractions. How do you assess the development and the qualitative leap in tourism in the past recent years?
I would say like Egypt by nature has been perceived as a culture and heritage hub. So that's what it's really known for. Probably like culture and heritage tourism doesn't represent like big part of tourism on a global level. However, it's still like part of or a backbone for the Egyptian tourism industry. On the other hand as well, like the Sun and Beach became very popular as well in Egypt, and even start like expanding over there. Sports as well, sports tourism is becoming as well a trend over here, since like we hosted like the World Cup over here or the Youth World Cup over here, and then we are building onto it. Events as well, the event tourism, On a ledger perspective, we have seen Egypt now hosting like too many concerts for famous singers and actually attracting a lot of tourists as well, with recently as well Maroon 5 and the one that we had at the pyramids like 2 days ago, or actually yesterday. On top of this as well, what we call the MICE business, the meeting, incentive, conference and events. That's of a huge potential as well, especially that in all the main new cities, including the administrative capital, we are building a very strong infrastructure from a convention centers. So once we facilitate the entry visas for them as well and the logistic for transportation and the right number of room nights, we can have a full calendar of event all year round.
What about the new Alamein city? In addition, of course, to the new administrative capital that you've just mentioned, there's also the new Alamein city.
Al-Alamein has a lot of potential as well. Like North Coast is growing and is growing rapidly and fast, and the demand over there is by far higher than any supply over there. Like we have close to 3,000 rooms on the North Coast, starting from Alexandria up to Matruh, and that's very minimal to the number of even domestic or the domestic tourism or the staycations, the one that the Egyptians would like to go and spend summer over there. Since the last 2 years, we start seeing a lot of as well of the GCC market or the Arab market are being happy to be present on the Egyptian North Coast. They saw the experiences. They started like enjoying the nightlife. They started going with the campaign that Egypt never sleeps. They see it in reality over there. So, and that's what the kind of things that they touch and they like and keep them going back and forth.
Right. How do you view the sustainability of New Alamein city all year round? I mean, not only summertime.
It's gonna take time, like like it's mainly because of the weather. The weather over there, it's nice during the 3 months of the summer. However, I see like in a short period between 2 to 3 years, the season is being extended. So it could run for a good 6 to 7 months, but not for all year round.
Talking about the Grand Egyptian Museum that will be inaugurated soon, and we're all looking forward to that. How do you expect the impact of this inauguration?
The event itself will send like a very strong message on a global level that we can build onto it. Like the Grand Egyptian Museum by itself is not going to be like a center point of attraction for people to make decisions to travel to Egypt. However, it will be like a must-see or a must-go place whenever you're coming to Egypt, because of the level of sophistication that we have seen in the Grand Egyptian Museum. It became like a piece of art by itself. So it definitely will worth visiting over there. And from what we are going to present over there, this is like the actual content that we need to take it abroad and to actually ask people to see it, to experience it, and to use this buzz to generate more awareness on Egypt and the different types of experiences that you can have over here.
And how do you assess the promotional campaign so far for the Grand Egyptian Museum?
The teasers has been quite good. However, I think like before like the definite opening of the museums, there will be a very strong series of events and announcements that's going in order to produce this fascinating project.
While celebrating 8 years under the leadership of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, how do you assess the development in Egypt's museums so far?
I would say like for over the last 4 to 5 years, we have seen like a strong focus on reviving all the places, presenting as well and introducing new places as well, new museums to the society, to the local society and to the international traveler as well, which was good as well. It was going along that you need to add new things into the country, especially when you have the resources. It was poor from the number of travelers because of all the unfortunate incidents that we have been through, followed by COVID. However, it was very nice time as well that you start preparing in order for once the flow starts going back and actually you start seeing the numbers going back to 2019 starting from this year. So that's a good start now that we start showing what have been discovered and presenting it in a decent way.
In your opinion, why building a platform for unique and sustainable tourism in Egypt is critical?
Sustainability is essential now in all aspects. Well, so we all, whether individuals, corporate, government, we all has to pay attention to everything related to the environment, what we are going to do from all our projects that's going to impact our society, and a strong governance as well, that everything has to be clear and transparent. By achieving these three, or by targeting these 3 goals, you will actually start like getting towards the SDGs or the Sustainable Development Goals, of which each company or each ministry as well will implement or embed within its code of conduct in order to have these sustainable goals part of the DNA and to reach a good sustainable level.
A very important event is upcoming here in Egypt in November, COP27, Climate Change
Indeed,
Conference. How do you see the significance of this conference on tourism?
COP27 is probably like for me like the most one of the most events, one of the most complicated one, but at the same time one of the most like famous events. So it's only for all head of states that you're going to see over there. It will probably be like the biggest event that Egypt will experience in the next decade. Like in the next 10 years, this will probably be the biggest one that Egypt will ever see.
How many countries are invited to attend?
All countries all over the world. And when we see like COP26, the one that took place in Glasgow last year, like there was no head of state that was not present over there. So it's sending a strong messages. So the message behind the COP, it's really essential. And the people coming and attending, that is like a huge marketing campaign in all countries. So you have the head of state of each country, like you are hosting them over here. You will be showing them Sharm el-Sheikh, probably as well the Grand Egyptian Museum if it's opened. So it is a huge opportunity that firstly we show to the whole world how Egypt can make a difference towards like the climate and the climate preservation. And secondly, how we manage to arrange such the event with all that details in a very professional manner.
Right. Sir, you spoke about different types of tourism, about sports tourism, about entertainment, about visiting archaeological sites and so on. Would you please tell me more about medical tourism in Egypt?
Medical tourism in Egypt, like, is while it has a potential, and I would say like medical tourism, we need to differentiate between two aspects, like the health and wellness, which is easily to promote and related to meditation, whether meditation by the pyramids, in the different, like in the desert, in the different greenery places of Egypt, on the Nile as well. All those are kind of wellness, detoxing, losing weight, these kind of things is easily to be arranged over here. And on the other hand as well, you have the medical tourism, people who are actually flying to Egypt for treatment. Like Egypt like, has one of the best doctors. The infrastructure for the hospital is improving and it's expanding. The private clinic as well are getting like a huge exposure and investment from all over the world. So it is worth as well that we expand into this one. We start mentioning or we start promoting in all different countries our core specialties. Egypt is probably famous for the heart operation, so it needs to be focused on anything related to the dermatologies, these kind of things. So we need to show to the people what our country has to offer. But as you mentioned earlier, each segment of this is essential. So and a dedicated team or a task force need to be focusing on it and getting this message to the world.
Right. Talking about environmental friendly areas, the new valley Kharga in the western desert has been awarded the title Egypt's first environment friendly city. How can we increase such projects and work more on such projects to promote tourism?
With more of ecologies, any new development has to take all the environmental social governance into place. Seeking like different certificates related to construction, that you are using green materials when you're building, energy saving materials. So these are the kind this are the water control, water wastage control, this kind of things that you need to start implementing in each property that you are building, in each new product or a commercial office that you're introducing. So whether it's residential or non-residential real estate, they all has to have these features into it. By implementing such methodologies and then afterwards training people on how they are going to start shifting towards these new norms, you will be reaching a sustainable or an environmentally friendly city or a destination.
Sir, as you mentioned and as we're talking, when it comes to tourism, we have it all. We have the archaeological sites, the historical heritage, the lovely beaches, the warm weather. Now, how can we further promote Egypt on the international map?
I would say like diversifying in the events that we attend yearly. So we see the Egyptian Tourism Board in a couple of them. Probably they need to be present in all the different forms as much as they can. Diversifying as well the purpose of the event. So you see events focusing on golfing, others focusing on diving, or focusing on meeting and events, others focusing on luxury travel, mass tourism, GCC tourism, these kind of things. So we need to be present into each, running different campaigns in each market, especially the one that has a potential, and we have a connectivity to it. So any airport or any airline that we have a direct connectivity with it, this is a high potential source for clientele for us. So a special focus into this market need to be given. And then on the other hand as well, if we find any other potential market that has a potential that we have a nice flow out of it, why not like start establishing like the different connectivity channels between us and this destination in order to be able to bring the tourist in a convenient way.
Sir, previously Egypt used to have the high season in the winter. The winter season, the Christmas and the warm weather here in Egypt. Now this is changing a little bit. I mean, also the summer is a high season.
Yes, because initially like Egypt was taking it like was focusing on 3 main markets like Russia, Germany and UK, and probably like fourth market Italy as well. So this was like the 4 biggest market for us, and they were always promoting Egypt as a warm destination and to come during the winter time.
Yes.
So it has been perceived like this, that the good season to go to Egypt is actually from September to March, and that's it. And the North Coast was mainly focusing on Egyptians with no potential plans for any of the developers over there or the hotels to start promoting it to international traveler, apart from a very few number of properties over there. So what we have seen when head of states as well, that's one of the keys, changed the perception of the North Coast 2 years ago, and then since then the demand starting rising like every year, like the room prices are increasing and the demand as well is increasing. So that's a good indication that the right marketing or the right message, when you send it to the potential clients, it actually can make a lot of difference in a very short time. And this is what we have been seeing now for the 2nd season in a row, and hopefully inshallah it will continue in the same way. So this is the kind of things that Egypt now, like the Mediterranean, and what we need to do is actually start fulfilling or meeting these client needs. Now the demand is coming, we don't want them to come to Egypt once, or to North Coast once in a lifetime and that's it. So we need to have it as a destination that a must go every year. Like people who are going to Cannes or going to Saint-Tropez or going to Mykonos, to Antalya, they go on a regular basis, and that's our goal as well. Similar to what we have done in Sharm el-Sheikh. It has a very high level of loyal clientele.
Right. Well, to sum it all up, all we mentioned and all we talked about, what are your expectations for the year 2022 in terms of tourist turnout and revenues?
And in terms of revenues, I think we are getting now very close to 2019. So it is expected that we're going to close by $14.5 billion by the end of the year. And in terms of number of travelers, I don't think we're going to get yet to 2019. However, probably like I would say like we'll be somewhere between 20 to 30% less than 2019 figures.
Right. Sir, finally, what are your expectations for the hot spots in Egypt in 2022?
In 2022, I would say like at the moment, like definitely summertime. So the North Coast will be seeing like the vast majority of the attraction from an international tourism and as well from local tourism. Secondly, it will be followed by Hurghada as well, because like the weather condition is good over there and it's still as well very popular for families or as a family destination. And gearing towards the end of the year, I would say like more of the classical tourism, the one that's coming from September to March next year, the classical tourism, Cairo, Al-Qusr, Aswan, beside the COP27.
Right. Well, I would like to thank you very much, Mr. Mohamed Kaoud, tourism and hospitality expert. Many thanks for your insight.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Our pleasure, sir. Dear viewers, that brings us to the end of this edition of the Daily Debate. Many thanks for watching. This is Neen Ramzi signing off.